Hello, welcome to Tank's Vlog. Today is July 12th, 2017. This is the wrap-up for the day in sports. Today we saw the 88th All-Star Game played at Miami's Marlins Park. And the pitchers just went out there and had their way with these hitters. A lot of strikeouts today. We saw 23 strikeouts, 18 pitchers combined for 23 strikeouts, and the game went into extra innings. You know, you wish you saw more true baseball plays, as most of the offense was home runs. There's 2 home runs hit in the game, and no real hit and runs, no bunting, no stealing. So if you like really good pitching, it was a good game, but overall it just wasn't the true baseball game that you could have seen, that if someone would have done more dynamic stuff. It's all just muscle up, strikeout, and home runs. And that's good to a certain point, but it also could hurt the game, and sometimes it leads to games dragging. And the All-Star game today was kind of lackluster, and I think it's one of the things that hurts the All-Star game also is Joe Buck just really isn't a good announcer. I've never been a fan of Joe Buck. John Smoltz is a fine color commentator, but it's time to put Joe Buck out the pasture. I mean, he's not good in football. He's not good in baseball. I would like to see Kevin Burkhardt get a good chance at the Fox main play-by-play guy, or somebody else. He's just so dry. Joe Buck is so dry. Anyway, Robinson Cano, he gave the American League the lead with a home run in the 10th inning, was named MVP. And what has happened now is there have been 88 All-Star games played. There's actually been 2 ties. There's the one that everyone remembers in 2002, where they ran out of pitchers. And there also was a tie in 61, back when they played 2 All-Star games. There was a 5-year period, or the 4-year period in the early 60s where they played 2 All-Star games, 59, 60, 61, 62, that they played 2 All-Star games to raise extra money for the pension plan. I don't know, can't imagine them even doing that, even thinking of doing that today. They'd play one week and then one a couple of weeks later. So there's been 88 All-Star games played, and there was one game at Fenway Park, which was it started raining in the 9th inning with the game tied 1-1. So that game ended in a tie. So of the 88 games that have been played, the American League and National League now each have 43 wins, and that is amazing. When you consider, after the National League won in 1987, they had a 37-20 advantage in All-Star games. So in the last 30 years, the American League has just taken over, and especially in the last 20 years. Since 1997, the National League has won just 3 times. And that's how you get this even. It's completely flipped. It is completely flipped. And the American League next year, with a win, can take the all-time lead. And the game will be played in Washington next season. Our 3 stars today are Robinson Cano as the All-Star Game MVP, Yadier Molina, who provided the National League's only offense with a home run, and Jose Ramirez, who had a couple of hits for the Cleveland Indians today. Let's see. Today's sports birthday shout-out goes to boxing legend Julio Cesar Chavez, who is turning 55. And at Barstool Sports, we do an extensive look back at one of the craziest days in history of baseball, pop culture, and just life in general. And I'm talking about Disco Demolition Night. What the White Sox tapped into that night, and Steve Dahl, who was a disc jockey who was working at a Chicago radio station, WLUP, The Loop. He tapped into something, a backlash against disco, because disco had just oversaturated everything. It got ridiculous. I mean, everything was disco. You had Ethel Mervyn doing disco records. You had disco commercials, disco everything. You just couldn't escape it, and it just, people got sick of it. And Steve Dahl hit that nerve right on the head, and it all came to fruition with the disco demolition night at Comiskey Park, which turned into a riot and led to the White Sox forfeiting the game. Infamous situation, but it really, I've always find that whole just like disco demolition night one of the craziest moments in the history of sports. So we look back at that at Barstool Sports and at sportsencyclopedia.com, where sports history lives. There may not be a vlog the next few days. I'll see if there's anything interesting to talk about. With the baseball starting Friday, so Wednesday and Thursday I might take a couple days off if I can't find anything interesting to talk about. But if I do, you'll be the first to know, and you'll see my face pop up right around midnight, as it usually does. Good day.